What is up, guys? What is up? What is up? Welcome back to the channel. Getting on the grind and improving your mind every single video that we do. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We're going to be talking about Jonathan Majors was found guilty today. Recent news. We're just going to be kind of going over it, even though we hate the news, but we're going to go over it anyway. And basically, we're going to be demonstrating why lack of game and lack of understanding of the opposite sex for a man can be detrimental in his career, and how you may be successful in your career, you may be successful doing a lot of things in your life, but when it comes to women, a lot of these guys, including a lot of these celebrities out here, are just not good at what they're doing. So let's go into this article from the New York Times, show you guys what we're talking about. This just came out today, and most likely Kang is not coming back.
Yeah, so
Uh,
yeah, I
which
have the
which
link.
Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania wasn't that great anyway. But
We'll see. Yeah, so we have it from the New York Times. Of course, we don't pay for it, so let's see how long we'll be able to actually look at this. But so this is from the New York Times. This literally all happened, I guess, earlier today. So let's take a read. So it says Jonathan Majors, who was one of Hollywood's fastest rising stars before misdemeanor domestic violence charges halted his ascent, was found guilty of assault and harassment on Monday for attacking his girlfriend in a car in Manhattan. Shortly after a six-person jury in Manhattan announced the verdict, Marvel Studios parted ways with the actor, spokeswoman from the company said. The jury acquitted Mr. Majors on two counts that had required prosecutors to show that he had acted with intent, one of assault and one of harassment, but jurors found Mr. Majors guilty on two other charges after more than 5 hours of deliberation. The verdict thwarted Mr. Majors' hopes of salvaging his career by proving his innocence in the March altercation. His future in the film industry is now clouded, and he could face just under a year in jail. His sentencing is scheduled for February 6th. So, shit. Mr. Major 34, wearing a gray suit, who cares, did not visibly react to the verdict other than squint slightly and to wrinkle his forehead. The jurors found him guilty of reckless assault and harassment after a whirlwind 2 week trial in which the actor, like most defendants, did not testify. Instead, the courtroom heard from his now ex girlfriend, Grace Jabari, who described in detail the altercation that left her ear bloody and finger fractured. Shit.
okay,
Damn.
well, this seems like it's
That's pretty
possibly
crazy.
it's provable that he did what he's accused of doing. If there's evidence like that, I
Yeah.
believe in evidence, obviously.
On her first day of testimony this month, she gave jurors a full account of what happened, speaking publicly for the first time about the episode. She said that Mr. Majors had received a flirty text from another woman and that she had grabbed his phone out of his hand.
The
First, she
audacity.
first she said he tried to pry her fingers away. Then he twisted her arm or
Up.
her hand and her arm. Next, she said, I felt like a really hard blow crossed my head. Eventually, she said Mr. Majors asked the driver to stop the vehicle. Video that jurors watched showed Mr. Majors jumping out, followed by Miss Jabari. He turned around, picked her up, and placed her back in the car, appearing to push her back in when she tried to get out. The Manhattan District Attorney said in an email that the trial
Oh, that's the
had
Trump
demonstrated.
guy.
Oh, yeah, is that the Trump guy?
I think
Oh,
so.
I don't know.
That's the Trump dude, I believe.
Oh, I have no fucking clue. That the trial had demonstrated the psychological and emotional abuse that is far too common in domestic violence cases. He thanked the jury for its service and Mr. Bari for bravely telling her story despite having to relive her trauma on the stand.
She won't be trauma when she gets that payday.
Yeah, we'll see. Mrs. Oh, Mr. Mrs. Miss Mr. Major's lawyer had argued that it was Miss Jabari who had assaulted their client, and they unleashed a full a fusillade of attacks on her before and during the trial, casting her as a liar who sought revenge on Mr. Majors after he strayed.
I just want to say real quick that if his lawyers are claiming that she abused him, he's weak anyway, and he loses because if a woman touches me in a way that's not approvable, that I do not approve of, that's like it's not right. It's over. That relationship is done. So if a woman strikes at me once, I know where her mind's at. Her mind, she obviously doesn't respect me enough to not hit me. If she has the capacity, the mental audacity to even think about waving her hand, slapping me, hitting me or something like that, it's done. And I'm getting her out immediately. So if Jonathan Majors is taking that kind of abuse from a woman, then he should have left immediately if he had some kind of game. But obviously, he is not very smart when it comes to the opposite sex and probably got to better. So even if that was the case and she was assaulting him, he could have easily left after one assault. If a girl hits you once, it's done, it's over. But if you have no lack of awareness of women at all, you're going to take the beatings from the women constantly, and you're not going to do anything about it because you're weak and you're pathetic. Unfortunately, a lot of celebrities are like that. You think they're all powerful and stuff because they got the money and the status and the looks and whatever you say, but if they don't got what's in here, then their whole future and career can be sabotaged.
Quickly, very quickly too. You can remove yourself from a situation like that without using violence, and we'll talk about it a little bit more once we finish reading here. So it says, where was I? They asked jurors to focus on Mr. Bari's actions after her altercation with the actor. She had run into three strangers who attempted to console her and then had gone out clubbing with them, returning home hours later. But prosecutors urged jurors to remain focused on what had happened in and directly outside the car, and Mr. Major's arguments appeared to fall flat. A judge prevented the actor's lawyers from detailing evidence that convinced at least one police detective that there was a probable cause to arrest Mr. Bari in October, months after the incident. A lawyer for Mr. Majors, whoever this person is, was defiant in a statement arguing that jurors had not believed Mr. Bari's story because they found that Mr. Majors did not intentionally cause any injuries to her.
Intentionally. So how did any injuries happen then?
Yeah, and
Apparently
we'll
there was
get
a bloody ear or something, and
bloody ear,
like
twisted finger, whatever.
any guy that's not retarded when it comes to women, any guy that has some knowledge of game and dealing with the opposite sex and actually understanding, the opposite gender and all that, you would know that if you ever feel like hitting a woman, you're obviously not in the right state of mind.
Yeah,
Men don't hit women; they simply just walk away. If a woman ever disrespects you, you should immediately walk away. You should never have to put your hands on her. That's not even in the question. If it's only the guys who don't have any game and they don't know what they're doing with girls, those are the guys who are emotionally unstable and they're not ready to even be with women because they have some trauma that they need to deal with on their own. Jonathan Majors, I don't know much about him other than he wasn't the best villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but he was good at fighting Creed.
I mean,
He's
he's
a
a
good
great
actor,
actor. He's a great actor.
but in his personal life, he
But
probably just he don't got it. He's not the guy.
yeah, he's
He's
just
got the
not.
guy. And once the girls realize, the girls see Jonathan Majors, superstar, jacked, whatever. But then they realize when they actually get to know him that he's not the guy. And you're only the guy if you know that you're the guy. And if you're not the guy, then you're not the guy. She doesn't see the guy.
Exactly.
So
We are disappointed, however, that despite not believing Mr. Bari, the jury nevertheless found that Mr. Majors was somehow reckless. She said, again, accusing Mr. Bari of attacking him. She added that Mr. Majors still has faith in the process and looks forward to fully clearing his name. In a statement, a lawyer for Ms. Jabari, Brittany Henderson, said that the verdict had shown that no abuser, no matter how powerful they may seem, is above the law, which is true.
both parties, Jabari and Majors, they both seem to suck.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah.
they both seem it. They should
No,
not
no
have
one,
ever met
no one
or
should be above the
dated.
law. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Soon as you notice a red flag in a woman, that Jonathan Majors probably noticed the red flag in this girl at first, but he was like, oh well, the pussy's good, so he kept going at it, and then look what happens. You end up in a situation like this, and then maybe Marvel. I don't know if Marvel's gonna can them.
Oh, they did.
Oh, they already did.
Yeah, I just said in the beginning.
Well, I don't know. Like,
well,
if
let's see. Actually, right here, let's read this real quick. Marvel Studios had intended to build several films around the villainous character he played in Quantumania, and had been waiting for the outcome of the criminal case before deciding whether to continue. Mr. Majors was scheduled to lead Avengers: Kang Dynasty, which had been scheduled for 2026, which it was actually supposed to start filming early next year, so like in a couple months' time. But the studio will now move forward with the movie without Mr. Majors, said the company's spokeswoman, Angela Shaw. It recently hired the screenwriter Michael Waldron, who worked on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
God, no. Then we're doomed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, then
On a
it's
new
over.
script, even before the verdict, the trial had damaged Mr. Majors. The courtroom heard a recording that Mr. Bari said she made, which Mr. Majors directed her to treat him the way that Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King had treated their husbands.
What?
What? What? What?
I
Bruh. Okay, Mr. Majors. Okay, sure. Jurors saw a text exchange
Oh
in
no.
which Mr. Majors urged Mr. Bari not to seek treatment for a head wound and threatened suicide. True.
Oh, so Mr. Majors, I'm gonna repeat that. Mr. Majors urged Miss Jabari. It's not funny. I'm just laughing because this whole situation is bonkers.
This whole situation.
Urged Mr. Jabari not to seek treatment for a head wound and threatened suicide. So
So
that's a very important. That's actually very alarming. So I don't think he should be Kang either because Kang's supposed to be badass, and this guy, I don't think even
it's
as
clearly a
badass
weak.
now.
He's a weak man.
Apollo Creed's kid beat him, and now the court system's beating him. So like, I mean, I just spoiled the movie. Whatever. Well,
Who cares?
it's a live stream. Can't do it.
That movie's been out for like almost a
If you
year
haven't
now.
seen, I'm sorry, Creed 3 fans, possible fans.
Possible.
So, but basically, if you threaten suicide to a girl because you're just so hooked on her, and if you do this and you ruin my career, I'm gonna kill myself,
that's literally
he needs serious help.
That's literally a middle school thing.
That
Like, you need to
that
you need to
tells
relax.
me that Jonathan Majors is extremely is something. There's something very wrong with him
Yeah.
behind the scenes, and probably is not. He should stay away from women for a little bit just to get his
yeah.
mind right.
Well, he
You know,
definitely will now.
Yeah, maybe
because
just
he'll
have
be
some
in jail.
casual sex with a couple girls, get his mind right again, because obviously what he's doing right now is not working for him. A lot of you guys do that. You're just emotionally unhinged and you're not even ready for women yet. Even if you have the status and the money and the cars and the all that stuff, you still don't got the mindset of a champion. A mindset of a champion, an all gainer, so to speak, channel, would not act that way ever with a woman. If she's ever giving him any trouble, he should have just been like, all right, yeah, it's cool, no problem. Yeah, I wish you well. I hope you should get treatment. I will not kill myself because I'm not that guy. And
I'm going to do that.
go beyond. But he obviously didn't want to let her go. And now look what happens. This is what happens when you don't know how to deal with women. In general, you said, especially if you're a movie star and people are looking at you, everybody's after you. That people want the scoop. Especially if you're in the limelight, you should be even more careful about how you treat everyone around you. I mean, not even just girls. You should be very careful about how you treat everyone, especially in the age of everything's recorded now. Everything you text can be traced back. Every phone call you make can be traced back. Be careful what you say to anyone, because anything will be used against you if you get in trouble, and the forces of whatever will try to use things against you if you threaten something.
Yep.
So he really messed up on this one.
So this is pretty much the end here. So the prosecutors used that evidence to argue that Mr. Majors had been a controlling and manipulative boyfriend, and that the attack in the SUV in March was the culmination of a lengthy period of abuse.
It's possible.
Ms. Galloway, in her closing argument last week, urged the jury to believe Mr. Barry, asking jurors that she stood to gain as she lived through assaults on her character. She would not be able to fabricate the story, Miss Galloway said.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't there, but
yeah. So yeah, we
obviously both parties are flawed here.
100%, all sides. Listen, and I want to say this real quick, that it's not the girl's fault. It's not Miss Jabari's fault for really any of it. It's Jonathan Majors is 100% at fault for everything that's going on with him. With him now pretty much losing his film career
because of a girl. Because you should not put your hands on a woman unless it's in the bedroom. Then it's fun. But if it's not in the bedroom and if it's in a taxi cab, like stated in the article, not good.
Yeah,
don't do that. Don't do that. Be very polite.
Listen, Jonathan Majors 100% at fault. He is not in the right state of mind to be having relations with other women. He should not be doing those types of things because he clearly doesn't know who he is as a person. He only knows him as the movie star or the rise. He's letting his fame and his new acquired understanding of the movie industry. He's letting his ego feed upon that, and he became something that he knew that he actually really wasn't, and he has let himself lose sight on how to have interactions with other people, and especially women. And that is what pretty much has happened here. He has completely lost sight on how to interact and talk to and have be communicative with, and he doesn't have any he doesn't notice what, like, his surroundings. He doesn't know where he is. He's letting a woman, and not letting a woman, but like she takes the phone out of his hand and he immediately wants to rip it out of her hands, punch her in the face, stuff like that. Right? Like,
yeah, he's
like,
lost it.
And a man would not do that. They would be like, please hand me my phone. and like it would be
Yeah, see,
completely
you just say
like
this
no,
behavior is
yeah,
unacceptable. I don't like what you're doing
exactly.
right now, and
You
she should
use
know. If
words,
once again, if you're the guy, I wouldn't even pull these things on you. She
yeah,
would know.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
no.
a,
You don't do
a
that.
man would use words and would speak exactly how I'm speaking right now. The very, very low and serious, and be like, okay,
A man's words should be
I do
taken
not,
seriously.
yeah, I do not like the way that you're doing this right now. This is not how what I would like for you to do. Like you don't start knocking the girl out for this. It's
You don't use fists with women. You use the mind. That's
yeah,
how you do it.
exactly. And you walk away. Like what I was trying to say earlier, because I wanted to get through the rest of the article, a man's true power is to walk away. And if you're able to like stop the your emotions getting the better of you, the best thing to do is to just walk away, breathe, think, and let the situation happen after that, because you don't want to think in the moment, or not think in the moment, but like let everything happen in the moment, and you start getting all uh pretty much adrenaline pumping, all going crazy, emotions running wild. You don't want that to happen for a man. A man does not let that happen. They sit back, they breathe, they think about the situation. The best thing to do is for a man is to walk away. And I mean, he technically did walk away, but that was after the fact of him alleged. Well, no, I guess not allegedly, hitting her and pretty much prying his phone out of her hand. That's
Um,
not what a man does.
if
It's
Jonathan
not.
Majors knew what he was doing with girls and how to handle his dating life, this wouldn't be a problem. This wouldn't be happening. This happened because he let it happen. He was not in control of his emotions. He obviously chose the wrong woman because if you're a man, you can choose. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you're a man, you can choose the woman that you deal with. You don't have to just be thirsty all the time. You can have boundaries and actually choose what woman you allow into your life. And obviously, he allowed that girl into his life for far too long. And if you allow the wrong people into your lives for too long, it will cause chaos and misery. And that's exactly what's happening here. You have to be able to make powerful choices, and you should have some sort of awareness onto red flags in a woman to where okay, will this be good for me or bad for me? And if you know subconsciously that this girl might be bad for you, but you're just addicted, you're just you're thirsty, then you're going to keep dealing with her. And then this kind of stuff happens. And now
Yeah,
he's going to be guilty. Now he probably lost his Kang role, which is going to really, I mean, the MCUs are dead anyway, in my opinion. I don't watch any of that crap anymore. It's all retarded. But, I mean, he potentially lost his
yeah.
career and,
He
a
lost.
lot of
He's
money, a
lost
lot of
everything.
deals
Yeah,
just because of a girl
yeah,
that he
and
could have prevented. He could have literally, if you saw a small red flag, you could have just gotten rid of her. I mean, he's Jonathan Majors. He could have been with any other girl,
yeah,
but he chose the one to give him problems.
yeah, and it all comes down to not understanding women, and not understanding how to interact with other women and stuff. You just watch. You don't even have to watch, just understand how they react. There's ways of doing that, either by reading, by watching our channel. It is a good one. And definitely understand how interactions, not just with women but other people just in the world, can benefit your life and can prevent things like this happening to you specifically.
Yeah, we can probably get into it into a future video. Basically, just don't be that guy. Know who you're dealing with. Know how to control the obstacles in your life, guys. You have the power to choose how you handle your life and how you deal with situations, how you operate in your dating life, and the people you allow choose and choose to allow into your life. So, be mindful of how you set your life up and how you, as a man, take charge and leadership into your own life, and be aware of everything that you're going through in your life. Otherwise, you might end up like this and sabotaging your career. So, guys, definitely let us know in the comment section what you guys think about this whole situation. Let us know what you guys think. Smash that like button on the video. Show us some support here. And so you can subscribe to the channel if you'd like. And we're going to see you guys in the next video.